Pulp Fiction, the masterpiece of Quentin Tarantino, made Hollywood rewrite the rules of movie production. But what if I told you the madness behind the scenes was even wilder than what you saw on screen? From on-set chaos to accidents that became legends, Tarantino's cult classic is packed with secrets that are just as twisted as the film itself. Number 1. The film that revived a fallen star. When Pulp Fiction began casting, John Travolta's career wasn't just cold, it was frozen. The man who once made the world dance in Saturday Night Fever and Grease had become a relic of a past decade. Studios had moved on, but Quentin Tarantino saw something others didn't. A fallen star who could shine in the right kind of darkness. Originally, the role of Vincent Vega was offered to Michael Madsen, fresh off Reservoir Dogs, but Madsen turned it down to star in Wyatt Earp. That small choice changed film history. Travolta stepped in, slicked back his hair, and became a hitman with a surfer's chill. A man who could talk about burgers and heroin in the same breath. Overnight, Travolta was reborn. From disco floors to drug dens, Pulp Fiction didn't just give him a role, it gave him redemption. And that dance scene with Uma Thurman, that wasn't nostalgia, it was resurrection on film. Number 2. The Bathroom Curse. Here's something most fans miss. Every time Vincent Vega goes to the bathroom, something terrible happens. He excuses himself, and the world collapses. When he steps away, Mia Wallace overdoses. When he's reading in Butch's apartment, he gets blown away. And when he's on the toilet at the diner, well, all hell breaks loose. It's such a weird, almost cosmic pattern. You might think it's a coincidence, but Tarantino never does anything by accident. Maybe it's his way of saying that in Pulp Fiction, life doesn't wait. Turn your back for a minute and chaos kicks down the door. In a film filled with bullets and bad choices, the deadliest weapon of all might just be a toilet. Number 3. The glowing briefcase mystery. The briefcase. That golden glow. That gasp from every audience since 1994. It's one of cinema's greatest mysteries because Tarantino never tells us what's inside, and that silence turned the briefcase into legend. Theories have run wild for decades. Some say it's gold bars, others think it's drugs, but the most haunting theory, it holds the soul of Marcellus Wallace himself. The code to open it, 666, doesn't help calm that rumor. But the truth is more fascinating. Tarantino intentionally left it empty. He wanted us to fill it with our imagination. Whatever we think is inside, greed, guilt, power, redemption, reflects who we are. That's why the glow feels so hypnotic, because it's not just a prop, it's a mirror. Number 4. The adrenaline scene that was filmed in reverse. That shocking moment when John Travolta stabs Uma Thurman in the chest with a needle, one of the most heart-pounding scenes in movie history, and it was filmed backwards. Travolta didn't actually thrust the needle into her, he pulled it out. Then the footage was reversed to make it look like he drove it straight in. No CGI, no trickery, just old-school movie magic. Uma Thurman later said it was terrifying even in reverse. Everyone on set held their breath. One mistake, one twitch, and that illusion would shatter. But when they played it back, it was perfect. A jolt of chaos so real, it made audiences flinch. That's Tarantino's brilliance, making something horrifying oddly hilarious. Number 5. The Wolf was written for one man only. Winston Wolfe, the man who cleans up messes. Harvey Keitel strolls into the film like a calm storm. Smooth, polite, terrifyingly efficient. He's on screen for barely 10 minutes, but he steals the movie. And that's because the part was written specifically for him. Tarantino idolized Keitel since Mean Streets. He loved the quiet danger, the professionalism, so he built the wolf in his image, the ultimate fixer in a world of screw-ups. Keitel didn't just play the wolf, he was the wolf. Sharp suit, faster mind, and total control. It's a short role that became a masterclass in cool. Number 6. The film that built a universe. Ever notice that Burger Jules eats before quoting scripture? This is a tasty burger. That's from Big Kahuna Burger, a fictional Hawaiian fast food chain. And it's not just a random name either. That same brand appears in Reservoir Dogs, Death Proof, and even From Dusk Till Dawn. Tarantino was quietly building a shared cinematic universe before Marvel even existed. Every fake brand, every passing reference, every cigarette label connects his films into one pulpy web. In Tarantino's world, everything's connected, even if you don't realize it yet. Number 7. The title that almost wasn't. Before Pulp Fiction was called Pulp Fiction, it almost went by another name, Black Mask. It was a direct reference to the 1930s pulp magazines that Tarantino adored. Cheap paper, lurid stories, hard-boiled detectives. But when he said the words Pulp Fiction out loud, something clicked. And it wasn't just a title, it was an identity. Pulp meant raw, messy, and real. Fiction meant freedom. Together, it became a manifesto for Tarantino's storytelling. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and absolutely alive. The name didn't just define a movie, it defined a movement. Number 8. The Butch Marquis Easter egg. Tarantino's obsession with details is legendary. Nothing in his frame is meaningless. Take the boxing marquee that Butch Coolidge passes. It reads Coolidge versus Wilson, a sly nod to US President Calvin Coolidge and Woodrow Wilson. Below that, Vossler v. Martinez are two of Tarantino's old friends from his video store days. It's blink and you'll miss it, but that's the charm. Tarantino hides little tributes and inside jokes all over his films. It makes rewatching Pulp Fiction feel like treasure hunting. Every frame is a clue, every prop a whisper from the director himself. Number 9. The script that rarely happened. Imagine this. One of the most iconic scripts in Hollywood history rarely got made. Studio executives thought Pulp Fiction was too violent, too talky, too strange. Nobody wants to watch gangsters talk about foot massages for 20 minutes, one exec said. They couldn't see the rhythm beneath the chaos. But Tarantino and producer Lawrence Bender refused to give up. They believed in the pulse of the story, that mix of pulp culture, philosophy, and crime. When it finally premiered at Cannes, it wasn't just a hit, it was an eruption. The audience gave it a 7-minute standing ovation. By the time the credits rolled, Pulp Fiction had changed the language of film. Number 10. The non-linear gamble that paid off. Tarantino broke one of storytelling's oldest rules. He told the story out of order. He kills off Vincent Vega halfway through, only to bring him back later like nothing happened. The timeline jumps back and forth, crossing paths like a puzzle. It shouldn't work, but it does. Because Tarantino doesn't care about sequence, he cares about feeling. By shuffling time, he turned every scene into a surprise. You don't just watch the story, you assemble it in your head like a crime scene. It's messy, risky, and genius, exactly like the film itself. Number 11. The rabbit that inspired a killer. Here's a fact so strange it sounds made up. Honey Bunny, the screaming robber in the diner, was named after a real rabbit. When Tarantino's typist was working on the early drafts, she asked him to feed her pet rabbit while she was away. He forgot, and the rabbit didn't make it. As a darkly funny tribute, she asked him to name a character after her beloved pet. Tarantino, being Tarantino, didn't pick a sweet, innocent role. He gave the name to a crazed stick-up artist. So when Pumpkin says, "I love you, Honey Bunny," he's unknowingly talking to a dead rabbit. Drop your theories in the comments, and if you love deep dives into movie secrets, make sure to subscribe.